Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video, I finally done it. I finally become an RSL Helper boy. I've done it. I've joined the group, and I'm only using a few features. I'm going to show you a couple of the features here today that are just absolutely game changing. Honestly, what have I done with RSL Helper? Well, this has done the best gear cleanse for my account ever. You guys might know from recent streams that, we were approaching like over 100, almost 200 artifacts in here. We were just overflowing with gear because it's just so much work to actually go through this stuff. I am now sitting, though, with 900 out of the 1,500. We have gone down. At least 700 accessories have been cleared out. My main artifacts, hey, we still got some filled in there. We've got a little bit of free space, but we're still fairly full. But it has made a huge difference. I want to show you what I've done today. The funny thing is, when I sold this stuff, my game started running way faster. Like, after I click sell, my game was so much faster. It's actually kind of crazy. So yeah, what are we doing? We are using RSL Helper. This is a program by Farbstoff. Which is, yeah, I mean, it does a whole bunch of stuff. Now, the feature we want to do in this video is the auto sell feature, which will auto sell gear. Actually, I guess one thing I could show you straight away, even earlier, is we're going to be using a sell file for doing this. So let me see. How do I forge gear? I'm not sure how we make it recognize that we're forging gear. If I click off this, if we auto forge, okay, so number of forges, let's say we want to do 10 forges. We have a sell file set up for it. Let's put in lethal. Let's do 10 lethal. We'll put in all of this stuff. Great. And then we go back to RSL Helper. We've told it we want it to do 10. So if we click go, it's going to forge these one by one. And it's going to basically keep and sell them depending on how good they are. It's going to basically work it out. And it's selling all this stuff. It's hunting for a crit, one assumes, and for main stats that are correct. But it's got this auto forge feature, which is super cool. We can work it out. Now, this is very end game. So like some of this gear here, I'm seeing some of this 5-star gear you might actually want to be keeping. That is totally up to you. For me, I'm looking for more end game gear. So yeah, I want the best of the best. What sell file is it that we're using? There we go. That was 10 quick forges. We are using Panda's sell file here. This is an endgame sell file. I will be linking all of this stuff to you. It is currently linked on the OC, the Omega Centauri Discord, but I will be linking all of this stuff in one post on my own Discord channel. But we've got, number one, we've got a guide to managing your inventory by Panda. So we can check that out as well. Right, a full guide, which is going to show you, basically help you do what you want to do. And to check all this stuff, it's going to guide you through basically clearing your stuff out. I haven't done this quite yet, but that will guide you through it. We have then an earlier game version of this, which will be less strict. We'll keep earlier game gear. If you're earlier in the game, you don't want to mince through all your gear. And then we've got just a general sell file, which is very end game focused. What this is going to do, let's actually run it through our gear now as well. So if we come over here, let's actually run it on my gear, because I will have picked up some since the last day. It is going to check all the gear, and we just go into the sell screen. I come over here. We're going to want to set the level. We only want to check artifacts between level 0 and level 4. This does not work for artifacts that you've leveled up. So we only want to check low level artifacts. Right, we're going to add them all into the queue. We've got 38 different artifacts. We're going to add them to the sell list, and this is basically going to scan through them, check them out, and it's going to figure out what do we keep, what do we sell, and it's going to add them in the game. So there we go. Looks like we're selling 34 out of the 38, right? We have 38, we've got 34. We could obviously check through and see what it's selling, and maybe we'd want to keep something. Like, well, I mean, here's a great example. Like this cursed weapon, this kind of sucks, right? It doesn't have anything good on it. So great. And let's take a look, for instance, this cursed shield. This one, maybe it could be okay because it would roll speed, but it's not god tier. So it's basically going to check through. I'm going to sell them. Let's see. It wants to keep this shield instead because this has defense, speed, and crit rate. This shield's better. It's not trying to sell that. Let's see. This helmet, for instance, has speed and accuracy, which is a stronger combo. This mythical helmet, it's got crit rate, crit damage, accuracy. So I guess that's why it's keeping that one. But it's going to work it out. All right. And there we go. Everything is cleared out. So like if we put on that cell checker, it's all gone. And this for me is, it's well worth it, right? If this was basic, but okay, I should actually show you the way it works is basically this, right? So for instance, if we have a 6-star mythical, can I make this bigger? No, it's not really more clear. It's very small. I'm sorry for you guys to see. But if it's a 6-star mythical, weapon, helmet, or shield, and it has speed, it's going to keep that, right? Or if it's a 6-star mythical glove and it's got speed, it will keep it. If it's a 6-star mythical chest with speed, it will keep it. Basically, we're putting in rules for what to keep. So that's how it works, right? And yeah, if it doesn't meet that criteria, like if we've got maybe mythical gear and it doesn't have speed and it doesn't have crit rate or it doesn't have crit damage, okay, well, that's just going to be a sell. It doesn't have the stats that we want. So you're relying on the author of your sell file to do a good job. Like I said, for me, so long as it's even 90% accurate, just by clearing up the inventory, by making it manageable, and just by narrowing things down and going, yeah, okay, these gloves, I know these gloves are going to be worthwhile rolling up. Or this chest piece, it's going to be worth rolling up. And I go, yeah, it's a mythical 6-star with speed. Yeah, it's a legendary 6-star with speed. Okay, great. What about this weapon? Okay, this has speed, crit damage, and attack percent in a crit damage set. Okay, that's worth rolling up. What about this cursed weapon? It's got speed and resistance and HP percent. Great, okay, I can roll this up and then I can make the decision. By just narrowing things down, it just makes things so much more manageable, and you can actually keep on top of things. I think particularly with accessories, I find accessories really tedious to cleanse. So now I can come in and I can know, like, okay, yes, the stuff in here is actually worth rolling up. So it's a HP ring with HP percent, defense percent, attack percent. Great, I can roll it up and see how it goes. And we're good. So that's absolutely fantastic. And like I said, even if it's not 100% accurate, it makes life so much easier. I'm willing to take that. And I think it's better than 90%. I think it's probably 95% accurate. Yeah, maybe there's some gear that you might have saved, or maybe there's some gear you would have thrown away. But that's okay. You know, I'm not after perfection, but my goodness, the quality of life is just absolutely insane. Like I said, we can do the same thing with our accessories. So I got some new accessories today. So let's switch over to accessories. Let's minimize this. Here we go. We're accessories. So here's actually a bunch it's found that we should sell. Now for this one, I can add them to the queue. Add them to the cell. Oh yeah, we need to open up cell in the game. Great. All right, add them to the cell list. And it's going to add these in to cell. Personally, I would probably be keeping some of these. So, you know, I'll probably keep this because it's a protection with speed. So I can make an adjustment. I can say, okay, you know what? It's a protection with a speed roll on it. I know it's not great, but it's good enough. Yeah, the rest are kind of rubbish. I mean, let's say for me right now, I'm gonna keep the protection and the stone skin just to have them. I don't really care about the bad revenge accessories. They're fine. We can get rid of those. But let's hold on to the protection and the stone skin. And I'm going to make that adjustment myself, right? So that's where it's like a 95% thing for me. It's like selling these things off. I would personally probably rather keep them. But now I know, like, how many artifacts is this? I still have a ton to actually roll up. I've got 450, you know, artifacts still to roll up. It's just slimmed it down. It's so good. So yeah, I will link this in the description. What this is built off of as well. Oh, actually, we've got some news for stuff that's coming up. So this is built off of, he also has a guide. So if you don't want to use RSL Helper and you don't want to use a program to basically sort through it for you, he's basically built this rule set. This cell file has been built off of this sort of concept. So for instance, with speed or divine speed, this is a great set. It's universally useful. Minimum rarity, again for the end game, is only epic or better, except boots. If there's rare boots with speed and I can get speed ascension. Okay, they're worth keeping. Great. And this is the sort of stuff that we're looking for. So the gauntlets, we'll take any gauntlets as long as they've got speed. Great. Right. So 4x of any speed. If no speed substat used to ore, etc., etc. Right. Keeping criteria. If it's triple speed with anything, then it's worth keeping. Or triple any subset with speed, it can be worth keeping on that weapon, helmet, and shield, and so on. So this is a super detailed guide. Again, you guys can go through it. This is from July 2023, so Panda said he needs to update it a little bit. But this is basically he went through, put a lot of time and work and effort into this, working out, okay, what gear do I actually use on an end game account? And these are basically the rules. And then he's imported them into the cell file, and RSL Helper, then you can put in the cell file and it will automatically apply it to your unrolled gear. What we also have is a preview. This is upcoming. What this is going to do, he said it's way, way more detailed. Okay, yeah, so for instance, he says right now there are 1,300 different, lines of code, basically 1,300 lines of coding for what to keep in the gear in the current cell file. This is going to be a new cell file, which will work for even gear that is rolled up, right? So you can take any gear in your account and it will check, is it like end game viable for you? And then you can sell it if it's not. It's going to have over 30,000 lines of code to make it work. It is a huge endeavor. So Panda is working with Farbstoff to make this happen. So stay tuned. That will be coming out soon. But I think that's an absolute game changer for gear cleansing as well. So you won't have to set it to level 0 to 4. You'll just be like, take all my gear. And if you trust Panda, I presume he'll do like a late game version, an end game version, and then an earlier game version as well, like he has with this regular cell file for unleveled gear. But so long as you trust him and you're willing to go for it, or you could customize your own one, or you could find another YouTuber that does a good one as well. You can put your gear in and be really happy. If you're looking for just a general RSL Helper guide, I actually use Lil Gaming. Big fan of Lil. As you guys know, I use his guide. It's really, really good. This was the guide I used just to get sort of familiar with the basics of it. Now, he has his own cell file. I was chatting to Lil as well. I think he's going to be updating his as well. And you can use Lil's cell file if you want it. I am way too new to this to make my own or to customize it. I'm just going to be using other people's cell files. But like I said, for me, that's totally fine. I'm good, man. Like, that's great. And now I'm prepared for the next artifact enhancement. I'm like, yep, great. Everything in my inventory that's not leveled up, now good, right? No matter what I click, it's gonna be worth rolling up. Yep, worth rolling up. Great. Let's check out this one. Yep. Oh, yep. Worth rolling up. Fantastic. All right. Let's look at this necklace. Right down. Yep. Okay. That's worth rolling. There's nothing there where I'm like, oh, is it good? Is it not good? Everything is good. Everything is worth going for. Life is so much easier. And the game runs better. It's just a win-win. The game runs better. I can't wait to now just absolutely blitz and nuke all this gear that is leveled up, right? That's probably not that good. I can't wait for Panda to make the better file and we can just knock a few hundred more off of this. Just sell all this junk, right? Don't need it. Like, I've got a bunch of speed gear because I did a bunch of regearing. Like, there's a bunch of this stuff that's junk. That was on, like, my man-eaters. I actually did that for you guys because you guys keep telling me my clan boss team sucks. We used the free regearing to regear the clan boss team. So the clan boss team, we did it on Void earlier, and we did like 100 million. I think before on Void, it was probably doing something like 90. So they're not in crazy gear or anything, but, they're in good gear. Like, I'm kind of, just for the sake of it, let's see how much damage they do on Spirit. Maybe 120? That'd be nice. Get a good chunk of extra damage on Spirit. What? 112. Okay, it's not 120, but still, there you go. So it's a big damage boost. I think with the better gear on the Man-Eaters and the Seeker now, I think there's a pretty good chance that this team probably won keys on Force Affinity. That was the problem before, was that Jintoro lose a lot of damage on Force. But I think by upgrading their gear, I think we can do it now. So that was nice as well. Nice little upgrade there. But yeah, it's been a game changer. I do recommend as well, it's a really good time to do this gear cleanse. Really good after you've just done a bunch of regearing. So let's say you've done a bunch of regearing with like the Hell Hades optimizer. You've regeared the champions you actually use on your account. It's a great time to run this program, right? And be like, okay, well, there's a bunch of gear. I didn't even roll it up. It's not even leveled. Like, this is all my throwaway gear, my spare gear. why not just blitz through it and be like, I only want to keep the end game viable stuff. Let's just minimize the clutter, make life easier. And there you go. So yeah, this for me has been a game changer. There's a ton more features as well to RSL Helper. But yeah, that cell file will auto apply to the forge. So again, for forging stuff, you can just have it go. Like, whatever. We could do it like we could just do let's even do it right now for fun. If we turn off this tab, forges, I mean, I can just do like 300 resilience forges, auto sell the stuff, go. Great. And I can just leave the game and it's almost definitely going to sell everything. It's just going to work through it. And it's great. Like if we somehow magically a god tier piece pops out, we get like that mythical crit damage glove with crit rate substats. It's going to keep that thing. But for all this other stuff, it's going to sell it. So it takes time, right? You got to leave it going, but it's like cheating. It's so good. It's so good. Like you might want to keep that one because it's got speed, but for me, resilience, again, it's a really low value set. I'm not interested, right? Let's just burn through, get some silver here. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. There you go, guys. Let me know what you think. Have you used RSL Helper before? Have you used cell files? Let me know what you do. But yeah, huge shout out to Farbstoff, obviously, for developing RSL Helper. I'm sure we'll do more videos on it in the future. Huge shout out to Panda for making this cell file and for, keeping it updated and all of that. I'm really excited for the cell file that's going to apply to all of your different, like all your leveled up gear. It's going to be a complete game changer and just make the game more manageable. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.